We need to understand that Pemra is a broadcast sector regulator, and in Pakistan it regulates only private sector broadcast platforms, which means that all those platforms which are operating in Pakistan as a TV channel or as a radio station, or for that matter as a transmission agency like cable operators, Pemra regulates all those private sector operators. So Pemra's role is very limited to a very small part of the entire media sector in this country. It does not regulate, and it cannot regulate under its own law any other broadcast, or for that matter media or digital media or print media platforms. So we need to be clear about its mandate and its role, that it is a private sector to regulate a private broadcast sector only. So now coming to your question, it's very, I would say, kind of surprising for us as well that Pemra's amendments emerged all of a sudden last week, where no one was aware about the background work which government claims that they have been consulting all these stakeholders, but at least it was not in our knowledge that Pemra's Pemra's law is being amended. Having said this, the bill which was introduced by the information minister last week included a number of things. It actually changed a definition of the news, and then it added the definition of disinformation and sphere violation. I'm sorry. Similarly, it also added few substantive sections by giving authority to Pemra to do things which are actually beyond its mandate. It's a broadcast sector regulator. It is only meant to regulate the licensing for broadcast sector. It cannot operate as a court. It cannot operate as a tribunal for workers' rights, and by its mandate, it is not a labor court. Then there's another change in the law where they have tried to include representative of Pakistan Federal Union of Journalists and Pakistan Broadcaster Association. So these are a few things which they have introduced. Now coming to what exactly the introductions of these definitions are, the included sections are. So they, under this amendment bill, they have first, as I mentioned, changed the definition of news. So normally news is a news. There's no difference between authentic news or unauthentic news. But now, according to this new definition, Pemra has to make sure that all its licensees are airing authentic news. So what is news and what is authentic news is not mentioned anywhere in the law. This is one of the biggest things which this new law has added. Second, the definition of disinformation. You have been through the definition which is given in the amendment bill. It is very broad, it's very subjective, and it is way beyond the definitions of this term given by international organizations and other media rights related research groups like RSF or UNESCO or any other CPJ or other media rights organizations at international level. So the definition of disinformation in this bill is way beyond the under consideration definitions for disinformation around the world. As we all know that it's very difficult to define terms like disinformation. So there is no consensus on this kind of definition of, or the definition of these kind of terms. But Pemra's, this bill comes up with a definition which is one, very vague, very subjective, and beyond the available, wherever they are available definitions of disinformation around the world. So this is second thing which this bill introduces. Then this bill comes up with a very interesting, as a legal student of law, a very interesting definition of violation. So we all know that violation is a violation. So what is the difference between severe violation and violation? Now it says the severe violation means a violation of this ordinance or violation of Article 19 of the Constitution of Islamic Republic of Pakistan. Now, what does it mean? Are they trying to mention here that this severe violation is equivalent to high treason? if Article 19, or for that matter, any article of the Constitution is violated, it may amount to high treason if someone violates it. And the punishment for high treason is very well known. But here they have tried to equate any alleged disinformation or any alleged violation of Pemra's law equivalent to the high treason as mentioned in Article 6 of the Constitution. So this is very, I would say, unprecedented, and it can have severe implications on overall freedom of expression in the broadcast sector. Now, my next issue with this bill is that it provides Pemra with the role to regulate broadcast sector's workers' issues as well. Now, media workers and their issues are altogether different things. And workers' rights cannot be confused with the issues of media or content, or for that matter, the broadcast sector regulation. Nowhere in the world this kind of role has been given to any regulator to regulate or to work relating to the issues of salaries and payments of salaries of the workers. In my knowledge, I have not seen. Maybe there may be some legislation or some arrangements, but I have not been through any such understanding or any arrangement. So by giving authority to Pemra, that now it will ensure that the licensees are timely paying the salary, is a kind of giving another sword to Pemra to misuse this power against media, broadcast media, to maybe curb more freedom of expression, to use this tool as a censorship tool, and this can be misused by enemies. But let's suppose that Pemra has got this role. Let's for 1 second assume that, okay, let's give this role to Pemra. Now, the problem with the definition of timely payment is that it says that timely payment of salary means the payment of salary when made to the electronic media employees within 2 months. Now, this definition is giving an owner of broadcast media at least 2 months of a sort of permission to legally make a delay in payment of salaries. So now this is a statute. So now, by virtue of this statute, media owner can put the salaries on hold for 2 months. And after that, if after 2 months that media owners does not pay the salary, then the workers can go to Council of Complaint, and the Council of Complaint is now empowered to figure this out, whether it can direct media owners to pay salary or not. And then it has been linked with the advertisements as well. Now, general law says that you cannot put the salaries on hold for more than 10 days in case if a media establishment or an organization is having more than 1,000 workers. So, and if the establishment or the organization has less than 1,000 workers, salaries has to be paid within 7 days of the date when the salary is due. And what is the date of due for the salary? It is right after 30th day of the work. So the salary period is 1 month according to the general law. And the Wages Act, which is the general law relating to wages, is very clear about this. So this is another critical issue which this law has, and this amendment has brought in, and I don't think that it will be a very good sign for broadcast sector as well as the workers, though the government is claiming that they have resolved the issue of salaries of the workers through this amendment. Another thing which they have tried to please somehow the broadcast sector as well as the representative of journalists, they have included one representative of Pakistan Federal Union of Journalists and one representative of Pakistan Broadcasters Association in the body of the authority. So this means that now a representative of journalists and media owners will be sitting in that authority's meetings. However, this law does not give them any right to vote. They can be simply observers and they can sit over there. They cannot even say anything and they cannot contribute in the conversations. Their role is just to be silent observers in the authority. Other than that, there's no use of adding them into the authority's structure. So, in my view, all these amendments, they might have done these amendments with the good intention. They might have tried to consult the stakeholders, but the outcome of the claimed consultations and outcome of this intended or claimed intention does not seem to be very appropriate in my view.